Alright, so I wanted to do an official kind of seamless installation of the new framework with systemd. The wiki's getting a little bit better. They're switching over from rc.conf to the systemd method from rc.dstart and adding daemons to rc.conf. They're going to systemd start and systemd enable .system. So anyways, going to go ahead and remove that one, delete all the files, start new. So we're going to be doing Arch 2012, if I can learn how to type here, 10, and do that. Dynamic 20 is more than enough. Start. Disk 1006. So in this video we're going to go through the complete install with a new framework. I'm going to go to 64 to show you a multi-lib. We're going to do the complete install framework. We're going to get to GDM and Aweseome Window Manager, like I have here. It's pretty cool. It's that next level. If you're interested in learning all this stuff, I want to learn how to. Let me know if you want me to do some type of follow along as I learn how to theme Aweseome. I'm having a lot of fun learning how to do it. So I just figured out theming here and got to this pretty cool with transparent menus and everything. How to change wallpapers and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're interested, let me know. So we're just going to start at the top here, basically just the install guide. So if you guys first new to Arch here, you go to the home page, you go to the official installation guide. First of all, you want to download the install here. So I just did the BitTorrent 1006 torrent. Do it that way, it's the fastest. A lot of people have seen that now. So you just go to the installation guide. So just going to start here, partition disks. There's a whole bunch of ways to do it. We're just going to use CF disk because it's nice and visual. So just create a new partition. We're going to do 200 megs. We're going to put it at the beginning of the drive, bootable, because it's going to be your boot drive. And down arrow to the free space, primary. We're just going to do 2 drives here. Just pick the default. If you were to do a dual boot, you would have a third partition. In this case, I have 3 OSs on this machine. I have Arch, Ubuntu, and Windows 7. So you just create the drives here. Now, if you do Windows, you would need to go to units. Sorry. You would go to type. Yeah, type. And you would pick for Windows. I didn't show it in my last video. You would try to find where is it? NTFS. I think it's 83 or 4 or something like that. Let's do it one more time. Try to find it. No, it's not there. NTFS. There it is, 86 or 87. I think I used 87. So let's do it that way. So anyways, if you do a Windows drive, you need to have it as an NTFS to make the install much easier. So we're going to go ahead and write it, type yes, enter, and exit. Alright, the next step is to format the partitions mkfs.ext2 dev sda1. That's going to be our boot partition. And we'll do the same thing So we'll make it 4 to SDA2. It's going to be your root and home drive, or partition. Now that we do that, we can mount dev SDA2 to MMT now, which is just your root right here. It's going to be your base system. And we're going to make dir p MMT boot, and we're going to make home. Those are what are required for Arch installation. And we're going to do to home as well. And we're going to do SDA1 to boot. Alright, now we check internet. So we just finished the mounting. Boot, home, and mount. So we mounted those three here. Now we do DHCP, HCP, CD, ETH0. Hopefully you have Ethernet. Makes life a lot easier than having to deal with wireless. It's possible though, if you follow the configure wireless setup and net config and all that stuff. Not easy though. Might as well just get a dongle if you need it. Check, make sure we have internet. We do. Alright, so now we do the install the base system. Base devel. Pack strap to mount. We do base devel. Alright, we know the type. You can add your other stuff that you like here. I do sudo every time, and pacman mirror list. I can type here, list. You could do wict and wict GTK, -GTK if you want. If you want to do wireless really early, as soon as you reboot, before you even get access to pacman and all that stuff to download anything, you can do it now. If you're dual booting, you can do Prober now. Same reason, you can do all that stuff before you connect to internet on the mounted system, all that kind of good stuff. But I'm just going to do these for now, and I'll come back when done. Alright, so we're done with the base install. The next step is to install a bootloader. Somebody asked me why I use grub BIOS. It's pretty much because I'm used to it, and I don't have, at least I'm not aware of any reason, anything that EFI can do that grub can't. I don't know. Somebody knows, so let me know if I'm missing out on something about EFI. But you know, even using this is on an iMac 27. Hopefully the resolution isn't. I'm going to do a 1080 broadcast to YouTube, but hopefully that's not too small to see on YouTube. Make sure you check out the high def on this, because it probably is pretty small. But anyways, even with Mac, which is kind of set up for the EFI boots, and you know, with Grub 2, you know, it blazes right through that, no issues. It was a challenge before they went to Grub 2 on a Mac, and EFI might have been a better idea, but Grub 2 works just fine. Grub BIOS works just fine for me now, so I don't see any reason to do it differently. Okay, Grub is now downloaded. So the next step, I never checked out syslinux either. One of these days I might do that. So we'll do gen fstab, p, pipe that into mnt, etc, fstab. And those that aren't familiar, the double arrow basically just takes the gen fstab and writes the lines directly into fstab. It's pretty slick. It kind of, without having to open, paste, save, it just kind of sticks the text in the file. It's pretty slick. Kind of cool. Oh, okay. I probably want to say you want to do that to MNT, don't you? Yeah. Sorry. All right. Now we change root into the system. Arch-ch root to mount. And okay, so the next thing you do is you want to look at your, so you list, and you go to user, share, zone info, and you do the same for wherever you are, and those are your locations. So once you have your combo, you do ln s user share zone, and those that are new, if there's only one directory in there or a file or anything that starts with ZONE, you just hit tab and it finishes it. And I know that America, oops, it's Arctic, America, there's only one there, and then LOS will do enough to do Los Angeles. ETC, I just did ET tab there. Local time doesn't exist yet, so if you hit tab, locale gen, but local time doesn't exist, you're actually writing that. So that's why you can't tab it, you have to write it out. Just a little note. Okay, next thing, locale.conf doesn't exist. So if we did cd to etc and ls it, local.conf doesn't exist. I don't know why they have that set locale right here. I don't see it anywhere, whatever. So we'll just do the next thing, which is nano. Sorry, we forgot to do something. Forgot to do the host name. So I'm going to go ahead and nano etc host name and arch the box like everybody does. Okay, we already did this. We already did that. That doesn't exist. So now we do nano etc locale. In. Find your special flavor of language here. Mine's ENUS for the US. Clear. Now do locale gen. I've been having trouble with time. Actually, I need to go to NTP. So if you did a search for, I don't know, go to tab open. Actually, I'm going to do something different. Let me go to GB. You do ArchWiki. And you do NTP. I actually had to do this, install this, then go through these two steps here. And then add this to your etc.conf. RC local. Yeah, I don't know if, but anyways, I ended up having to do this for time. But anyways, that's a side note. That's later on. All right, so you can nano etc mk init conf. If you have like a Intel, there's like a i90 something or whatever modules you can load in here for different types or different load orders for those types of things. I've never really done anything. I had a computer for a short time that had an Intel chip, and you can do some things. If you have an Intel graphics driver, then you can do some things in there. So look up Intel on the X part, which comes up later. So anyways, mkinit, init cpiop Linux. We're just following along down right here. Okay. So here's the tricky part. See, if you go down here between right below mkinit, refer back to the appropriate article for Bootloader. I think they should have like grub, syslinux articles, hyperlinks here, because this is really important. And if you're the first time through this and you just kind of glance over that and try to reboot and you get errors saying there's nothing to boot, it's because you haven't done anything yet. So what you do here is you go grub -mk config o, and you do that to boot grub .cfg. Those are all tab overs. Those already exist. So you grub make config. It'll find your images and list them in a config file. They didn't exist until you installed them just now, so you had to do that. And then you just do grub install to dev and always to SDA unless you have another drive and you're going to SDB or whatever you just did install to, and you want to have bootable, you need to directly to the drive, not 1, 2, or 3 or anything like that. Directly to the drive. Let grub handle all your, even if you're dual booting, triple booting, quad, whatever, those will be listed. And let grub handle all that stuff. So it should go through. No errors. You can do PASSWD. This is going to be your root password. Might have screwed that up. Yeah, I got to do that again. Fat fingered it. Alright. Now we can go exit to get out of the mounted system, and we can do clear so you can see it. Umount // shift bracket boot, comma, and there should be a slight delay there, it means you're doing it right. Home, comma, close. So that's your boot, home, and root drives. You're going to unmount them. No errors, that's good. And you can reboot. So we'll just do a reboot. And I'm going to go to my VBox here, settings. I'm going to try to storage no disk. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to reboot. Hopefully this won't come up again. It'll go right into the system. And maybe not. So let's. Did I just screw something up? Alright, so. Crap, don't do that. Going to shut this down. Yeah, wait till you, wait before you do that, because I just screwed something up. So okay, I'm going to fix that. Always, you know, have it powered down before you unmount the deal. I'll be back after it. Alright, so I basically crashed a VirtualBox. I installed or I removed the install disk while it was booted to the install disk, and this interface here, VirtualBox, couldn't even save it. I had to log out of Aweseome and back in. So anyways, it should be good to go now. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. I'm going to go to scale. That's fine. Cool. Alright, while that's loading, let's go to the wiki. Let's go to Arch Linux. And it's right on the home page. We go to the unofficial beginner guide now. And we log in as root. That's all that exists now. Type in that password that you had installed there. First thing we're going to do is add user. And type in your favorite user. Bunch of inners. And the name. That's not going to work. Don't be too hasty. Okay. Type in your password. So now you do nano etc sudoers. And down, page down till you get to root here. Just copy that for your username. Control X, Y, enter. And so now you exit. Log in with your username. Do sudo su. Get this cool little greeting there. Okay, so now we're going to do a couple cool things with Pacman. So we're going to do nano tc pacman conf. We're going to page down until we get to miss options. I love candy. Page down, multi-lib, uncomment multi-lib, so you can get to the lib32 stuff. Now we're going to enable Yarch, so we're going to do Arch Linux. Can't type that far. Close brackets server equals http://repo.arch. That will be Yowert. Control X, Y, enter. Okay, so now let's go to cd to etc pacman.d and list. This is your mirror list, so you're going to copy mirror list to mirror list.backup. And a little ls there. First of all, let's see if we have internet. I don't think we do. Ping C2. So I don't think that works. That's kind of strange. Oh, yeah, probably have to do google.com. Unknown host. Okay, so we don't have internet yet. So let's go ahead and do wict. So we're going to do pacman, let's see, dhcpcd eth0. Now we do ping Google. That was good. We have internet now. So let's go ahead and do, if you didn't do this already, wict. Okay, so yeah, first thing we need to do is, now that we need to we need to pacman syy to sync mirror lists. Now we do pacman wict. Yes. And if you wanted to, you could do archwiki and go to wict. So you do wict GTK if you want a front end. You do that later. This is the old way. See, there is no daemons in rc.conf, so I'll go and tell you how to do it. Yeah, I don't see it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do no, I'm not going to do GTK because I want as little as possible of GTK stuff. Okay, so now let's do, yeah, so now we're going to need to enable it. Where we used to add wict to rc.conf, dbus and wict here, this doesn't exist, so this doesn't work. So what we're going to do is system ctl start wict. That's like saying rc.d start wict. And now, if we do yet another search on wiki, archwiki, and we do systemd, we will get a list of commands. There we go, right here. So let's see if that works. So we do system ctl is enabled wict. Wict.service. That's where it gets a little complicated. It's going to be disabled until we do this next step, but you can do start and then enable, and I'll talk about the differences. So first we're going to do is wict curses, and this is where you would go through Control C to configure, then yeah, so yeah, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm not going to do it now. Control Shift Q to get out of that. I'm not going to use that now. So let's do, yeah. Anyways, we're going to do system ctl start dbus, and we're going to go ahead and tell that to enable it. Now enable dbus.service is like adding it to your daemons in rc.conf. And I'm going to do the same thing for wict. show you what it actually looks like. So it does this, it copies from user lib systemd to these other things. So that then it should be, yeah, so now it's enabled. So that's how that deal works there. So now we have wicked. Now we're going to, ls, where are we now? Okay, so now we're going to do rank mirrors in, and I'm just going to do 6 mirror list dot backup greater than mirror list. And I'll come back when this is done. It takes quite a while. I'll show you why when I'm done, but it'll probably take 5 minutes or so. All right, be right back. Okay, yeah, that takes about 5 minutes or so. So the reason it takes so long is if we were to do an ls again, what's in here? So let's do nano mirror list. Oops, we don't want to look at that one. That one's fixed. We want to do nano.backup. Now, if you scroll through here, you got a US scattered along with Belarus and Brazil and Germany and blah 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 all over the place. So where you used to be able to go through and just pick your target country, page down to your target country, excuse me, and unselect just a few that are close together. Now they're scattered. So maybe there's a logic to that new Pac-Man list. If there is, let me know. Maybe there's a different command that's more efficient. But anyways, it takes forever. Okay, so now we want to do a Pac-Man SYY to sync with those new mirrors. And then first things first, we're going to do Pac-Man, gosh, we're typing S, yaort. And they had another online user repository, whatever. And I always include Pac-Man, sorry it's at the bottom, but I want to be able to see it. Customize, PKG, and rsync. Clear that out. Okay, so I think we're good to go. So just an example of yaort. So you do yaort and do flash, say. And there's all the flash software that's on the AUR and on the user, the core system, the everything, community, whatever. It's a great tool. And I'm also going to do yaort Packer, which is another great tool, and that's going to be number 7. See that number 7 in the AUR? It's Packer. It has 1,036 votes, so it's obviously very popular. Usually they're in the hundreds or teens or tens or whatever. That one's very, very popular, so we're going to do Packer. The reason I like Packer is when you do a sync, when you do a Pac-Man, what you would be Pac-Man SYU, Packer SYU will actually sync with the AUR as well. So you can use Packer or yaort. They're very similar. You can do Packer search or yaort search. They're very similar. I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So if we clear, so we do like we just did. Now we do Packer. Packer. It should be the same stuff. So you just hit it's a little bit different order, and it's off the screen, so you can't quite see it. So hit enter to get out of that. So anyways, very similar. So now what we do is Packer SYU, and that does the same thing, but it also goes to that, which is synchronizing AUR database. See that? That's the cool thing. So when I do a system update, I just do Packer SYU, and it does everything. Alright, so now we have a basic system here. We're going to do sound now. You can go to the Arch wiki and go to, let's get rid of the wicked, we're done with that. Systemd, we're done with that for now. Go down here and you go to extras. So we're basically finished with all this stuff. Now we go to sound, sound, here we go. And you can go to advanced Linux sound architecture. And you can peruse through that forever, or you could do this. And you just do Pac-Man S pulse audio alsa lib 32 lib pulse. Now if you're on a 32-bit system, that lib32 lib pulse won't be there. Maybe some of these other packages will hit the lib pulse and also plugins, but you do this for lib 32. I think most systems are 32-bit now. Also plugins, and for Aweseome, you absolutely need Pavu control. Here's your volume control now. Until you get one up here, I guess. And you map, maybe you can map to a keyboard, but early with Aweseome, you need Pavu control. Absolutely. And I might just use it all the time. Kind of growing to like it. I didn't like it at first because sometimes you'll start something up and it'll blast your speakers out until you find the right. Anyways, that's something else. You're also going to want also utils and also plugins. This might take a while, so I'm going to break it here and be back in a bit. Alright, so now you have sound working, so now let's do also mixer. And you're going to want to select a card, which is F6. On a Mac, you have to hold down function, keep in mind. And in this case, it's the Intel deal. And to show all is F5. Yeah, F5. So you start at master. MM means it's muted, so hit M and then up arrow. And get a reasonable midpoint here. Master, another one here, so not sure what. Yeah, I've never set up a VirtualBox like this, so 3D control, I don't know. PCM, unmute, unmute, and line. Keep going over till you find everything. Wow, lots of stuff here. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Video. Wow. Phone. Beep. Wow, VirtualBox has a bunch. Still going. Wow. And make sure nothing's left. All right. Wow. Sorry about that. That's crazy. There's a bunch of stuff there. Okay, so then you hit escape and you say also CTL space store. So it's kind of like system CTL. Yeah, also CTL store. So it stores. What that does is when you reboot, it stores your current volume settings for when you log back in again. Now we do speaker dash test C2. Cool. Pretty quiet. That's all right. Control C to stop that. So we're done with sound. Now we're going to do X. So that's right here, graphical interface. So you do Pacman S xorg server xorg xinit xorg server utils. You're going to want Mesa. You're going to want TTF Deja Vu for fonts. And you're going to want to test X. Just do it all now, since we're doing our X stuff right here. To test X, you need these. And that's xorg TWM, xorg xclock, xterm. There's all your X stuff. And this might take a while, but I might sit through this one. It's only 20 megs. So while we're waiting for that, let's talk about the graphics drivers. So you're going to do this LSPCI grep to find out what your video card is. And whatever your video card is, you select it here. And these are what you install. This machine here is AMD ATI. I'm using open source and it works just fine. I've never even tried the proprietary. It kind of goes against the Linux idea. NVIDIA, however, you really get a lot of benefit. That's on my MacBook Air. You get a lot of benefit. You can tweak things like power, enable brightness control. You get a NVIDIA settings, which is pretty slick. Power savings, all that kind of good stuff. So what you do next is you do a LSPCI, vertical deal, grep VGA. This is going to say something about a VirtualBox graphical card. In my case, I'm going to do a Pacman S XF86 video BESA. I think that's what, yeah, BESA driver is kind of the generic mode setting we'll use in VirtualBox. Again, you would input here. In my case, I do this for my MacBook, or sorry, iMac that I'm using now, and I do these two for my MacBook Air. Make sure you read this because there's lots of tricky stuff. You have to uninstall libgl, and then you have to reboot before you can use it, all that kind of good stuff. So read the wiki for NVIDIA, absolutely. All right, so I think if I go back over here, and I think we're ready to test X, so we're just going to do start X. All right, cool, it worked. To get out of this, mouse over where you want, P, kill, space X. We're good to go there. Okay, so we have a font. So now it basically says choose your install graphical interface. I'm going to do DGB, it's faster this way, wiki, and do GDM. So Pacman S GDM. This one's getting pretty good because there you are. There's your systemd settings, your first in. So the wiki's getting better. I mean, wict and things like that will eventually have a systemctl enable wict.service and all that kind of stuff. It was probably later on in the priorities form. But anyways, so we do GDM. We're going to do Aweseome. Aweseome takes a lot of reading. If you really want to get into the nuts and bolts, do Aweseome. But yeah, it's pretty simple, just Aweseome. Now you could do GDM and Gnome Extra here. So you could do Gnome Extra for the good stuff there. You could do KDM and KDE and all that kind of good stuff. I like GDM just because it does a pretty good job starting services, and so you can boot into external hard drives. You know, eventually I'm going to get to where I go straight without any display manager from the TTY. But anyways, this is pretty small for for a full-on front end, so I'll wait for it. Yeah, so you don't forget about it now. Just do a Pacman S. Oops. And Pacman. If you're going to follow along with me later, if this is going to be part of with just GDM and Aweseome, you pretty much have to, like, for more file supports, like, you won't be able to load a PNG background unless you have support for PNG, which doesn't come with Aweseome. So, you know, as you started loading packages, if you're going to continue on with my Aweseome, which I think I'm going to do now, Aweseome tutorials, you're going to want to optional dependencies for things like image support listed here at the bottom of install. Go ahead and do it. All right, so that shouldn't take long. and yeah, Pac-Man, S, lib, PNG. You're gonna need that. XML, WMF. That's probably good enough. We don't. Those are specialty stuff. Okay, so now what you need to do is systemctl enable gdm.service. There, added the directory there, so that's good. Okay, so Aweseome's installed, GDM's enabled. Now if we do systemctl start GDM, it's going to actually launch GDM, and we'll be off and running. So let's go ahead and do it. And there it is. Here's GDM old school. Type in your good stuff here. Oops, Gnome doesn't exist. Don't be hasty. One more time. Password. Make sure you select Aweseome here. Wow, it's really laggy. Alright, there's your vanilla Aweseome. So I'm going to go ahead and shut her down now. Wow, it's really laggy. And from here, probably, yeah, let me know if you're interested. I'm going to think about doing it. If there's enough interest, I will. So I'll